So we're going to talk about how the Dungeons and Dragons movie franchise started and how it's going. How it started was the people behind the movie made comments about how D&D was going to emasculate its leading men. Mm-hmm. It failed at the box office, and now they're talking about a sequel they've written that will probably never see the light of day because the first movie was such a box office disaster.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? Right? Now, we could blame the OGL debacle. A lot of the diehard D&D fans did not go see this movie because they were protesting Wizards of the Coast and the OGL, and it just happened to, this movie just happened to come out at the same time. That whole thing was going on, but this movie was designed for normies, and normies didn't go see it because it's D&D, it's nerd stuff, but also these comments were floating around. Nobody wants to go see a movie with a male lead where he's emasculated.
Well, the target demographic is men. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Like for D&D, no matter how much you want to argue that everybody plays it now, which is true, I'm not saying it's not. It's always been more male skewing, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They keep acting like that's a problem. There's nothing wrong with that. There's an audience that's a target audience, and when you're out there telling people, a lot of people were excited about this movie, and then they're out there telling them, oh, by the way, our leads are emasculated. Ha 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 ha. What the hell did you think was going to happen? See also Blue Beetle. See also the Masters of the Universe movie. You have people coming out there going crazy, going like the people involved with the show. Oh, it's about toxic masculinity and what it means to be a man and all this other idiocy. The director and other actors and stuff involved didn't do so well in the theaters because a lot of people were like worried about that and the he, him and all that crap. Now it's on Amazon doing really well because we were watching it and they're like, oh, it was actually good. And it's like, yeah, no shit. It was good. But you guys didn't get the audience because you went around making those stupid comments ahead of the movie coming out to a predominantly male audience.
And that's yeah, I know, right? That's what we talk about here because a lot of times people associated with these productions do more damage to the press leading up to the release of the movie. If they had just kept their mouths shut. Now, granted, again, the OGL thing, we couldn't have foreseen that happening. That just, was very, very bad timing. But still, if they kept their mouths shut and just went out of their way to get people excited for this movie, things would have gone differently. And I could argue, too, the trailers did not do the movie justice.
No, but it was a good movie.
It actually was. I watched it because I was like on my deathbed one day. I'm like, I have nothing else to watch that I haven't watched. And I'm like, okay.
You were really sick.
And I'm like, I bought this thing on digital. It was on sale a couple months ago. I'll watch it. I'll sit through it, whatever. I'm already dying here. So if the movie sucks, whatever. And it was good. I was like, the movie's good. If you just kept your mouth shut and you got people excited about it, instead you became your own anti-marketing team. Like, I don't think these people realize how they sound.
That's what they keep doing, and they keep doing it over and over again. I say the same with the Odyssey. Like our son said, the marketing behind it did it really dirty, and we keep seeing this over and over again. You get these people in the PR that are like, we're going to own the chads, and then the whole movie falls apart because no matter how much you want to be for other audiences, the target audience, the audience that these movies were always made for, skews male, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And just so tired of the idiocy.
So let's talk about this, talk about what they said, that they actually did plan a sequel. And it was pretty obvious, watching the movie that there was a sequel planned. Everybody plans a sequel now. It's not enough to just make a good standalone movie. Everybody's like, oh, it's part of a trilogy, and then that's part of an expanded universe. Yeah, okay. You got to crawl before you can run, right? So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, woohoo if you do.
Woo.
If you would like more, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV episodes and podcasts you will not find anywhere else. And speaking of podcasts, if you'd like to listen to the audio version of Clownfish TV, you can do that on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. So thank you very much for that. All right, so let's just take a look at the numbers here.
Well, real quick, I think it's funny. To me, these people making these comments, it's like saying, I'm going to open a burger joint. And then when you're getting interviewed, say, yeah, burgers are for fat asses, and only fat asses would eat those things. And then when your joint goes under, you're like, I don't understand why it folded. I don't understand why no one came to eat my burgers.
Well, did they have did they have the one burger place that was called like Heart Attack Grill or something like that?
Yeah, many people go there on purpose because of it.
Well, no, I think I'm pretty sure I read they went out of business or something.
Did they?
Because they were bragging about how bad the burgers were for you, and nobody went.
like, what do you think? But that's what it reminds me of. It's like you have a business and you actively tell people only idiots would support this business. And then you're like, I don't understand why my business went under. And that's what these people do. And they're so fucking stupid. Like they think they're going to appeal to this new audience that's going to flock to their film because they want these legacy IPs, legacy franchises, legacy properties, but they don't want the audience that goes with it for whatever reason. Even if they didn't do anything, mostly because they associate them with some TDS idiocy. And we're going to get a new audience. The new audience doesn't buy or support things, or they're non-existent. So they flush one for another, and then the other doesn't even show up. And then they're like, what happened?
Yeah, like a lot of these people, you can tell that they think they're the smartest people in the room.
Oh, yes.
A lot of people working on these movies. And, look, I get you don't like your audience very much, but when you're insulting them, you can't have it both ways. You can't insult them and take their money. And sometimes they think they're being ironic. Like, we're going to do whatever thing because we in our hipster circles think this is a very funny, ironic thing to do. I'm like, does the studio think it's a good idea to do a funny, ironic thing with hundreds of millions of dollars?
The audience doesn't.
The audience doesn't. I mean, again, at the end of the day, you're producing a product for a customer, and it can be the most art house, whatever. Or they fail, and then they're like, well, just people weren't smart enough to watch our movie.
Well, that's just the media, and the media perpetuates it. Like, I was joking with you today. Some idiot wrote an article talking about how the Nolan fans, how they're more intellectual.
Elevated.
They're elevated.
Yeah, elevated.
And I was like, what? They're unlike other people, like Snyder people. They didn't say that, but that's what the implication is, I think. They're elevated fans. Okay. Basically, because I like it. So if you're a fan like me, we're elevated and smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, it's just these people. God, fandom is so weird. They're
all
always
you're doing is hurting the property you say you like because you're being an insufferable asshole.
Right. It's like, hey, let's make a D&D movie that's accessible for everybody, but then let's also insult the target demographic. Like, make up your fucking mind. What do you want? And I don't know if it was an offhand comment taken out of context or what. I mean, this was...
Why would you make that comment at all? That would be stupid.
Yeah. This was Goldstein was the guy that was the writer, I think. Oh, Jonathan Goldstein. Okay, so the writing team, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, revealed they intentionally emasculated the film's leading men, though not for wokeness. So basically, if you haven't seen the movie, there was a female, I think she was a barbarian, and she was like the tank, right? Mm-hmm. And the lead character, which was Chris Pine's character, was a bard, and he was more, brains over brawn type thing. But like the media runs with these headlines because you get people like this that, again, they're always looking from behind their smarm glasses or whatever. Yeah. But you get people like this that are going to take any whiff of that and be like, oh, look, we can stick it to the toxic chuds in middle America. They said it wasn't really an attempt. They said, swear to God, it wasn't. We liked Holga is the bruiser. She does dirty work for Edgin. He doesn't like to get his hands dirty. We also love emasculating leading men. Now, that could have been a joke that they made, off the cuff or whatever.
Why would you make that? No one's that stupid.
But no, some of these people really are that stupid. I think some of these people quip like they're in the writer's room and not realizing like the media is going to take whatever fucking thing you say.
Especially when it's about anti-man.
Yeah, if it's anti-man, because these writers have a bias and they want to stick it to their audience. And really, I don't even know if it's about stick it to the audience so much as it's clicks. It's like, oh, look, the Dungeons and Dragons movie for men is anti-men. Oh, isn't that something? Don't you want to read this article and see how much they hate you?
It's rage bait, but I think a lot of it is they just legitimately think these things. Like, the ha ha ha, it's not for you. And then when the movie fails, they whine and scream and blame men. And it's like, well, what the fuck do you want,
Yeah, so this person's there. I don't even know if they're there anymore. CBR, they were there. The lead gaming news editor, and was deeply embedded in fanfic, the fanfic community as a teenager. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, that's all I need to know right there.
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, this made the headlines. The movie bombed It lost between 70 and $100 million. They had plans for like a series for it. They were going to do a TV series. They were going to do.
That's a bummer because it was actually a really good movie.
It was
I
actually
watched
good.
Another one, but most people didn't watch it until it was, on streaming because of the comments made by the people making the film. Like the actual writer director were making these comments. Not smart.
And I think, again, you were saying He-Man. I think He-Man is the closest comparison we have. And we said that He-Man was going to go down like D&D. It looked like it was comparable, kind of a movie, comparable audience, 80s nostalgia, men thing. But they also, leading up to it, had these headlines that were like, He-Man's a handshake between femininity and masculinity. Oh, he, him pronouns, and the chuds are angry. And it was a joke. I mean, the pronoun thing on the plaque was a joke, but they ran with that. And people were already like, yeah, I'm not going to go see it just because I think it's going to insult me. Mm-hmm. And that's it, A
lot of people don't like it because they think they played it up for laughs too much. There's reasons they don't like it too. Some of them are valid and stuff. And I mean, you're allowed to like things, you're allowed not to like things. I don't get pissy about it unless you're being abusive to other people. But, a lot of people are watching it now and they're like, oh, it was actually pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't bad. But the problem is the idiocy leading up to it by the people making the film. Led to the film's destruction because anymore, it used to be people wouldn't care so much. But given the way the last 15 years have gone, that when you start hearing that stuff, you know exactly the type of movie you're going to get. And a lot of people are just turned off by it. Even people who align on that side, on the far left or whatever, some of them won't go because they're like, I don't want to, I'm tired. I don't want to, I didn't say far left, the people that are the moderate leaning left, they turn them off too because they're just like, I'm tired. I just want entertainment, man. I don't want to go get a lecture again, even if I agree with you. No, I don't want another lecture.
The far left, they're too broke to.
Yeah, I don't mean the far left. I meant like the moderate on the left. Yeah,
but the normal people in the middle, right on either side of it, they don't go. The paying customers, they don't go because they're like, why should I pay to be lectured at or talked to?
Like both franchises are more niche. Let's be honest here. They don't have the mass appeal because they've always been associated with a certain demographic or like nerd culture or whatever. So it doesn't always meet a wide audience of interest.
Yeah, but they're making purses and shoes and stuff of D&D. You should get excited for that and consume it, even though you've never played the game.
No, but I have bought Masters of the Universe stuff and She-Ra stuff, so I can't say anything as far as purses and lifestyle stuff.
No, but they're trying to turn like D&D into something it definitely isn't, and that is a huge problem.
I'm gonna go play D&D with my fancy shoes and purse and my cloak.
I mean, this is beyond parody at this point.
It is,
like,
and now
what
they
they're
make
trying
shows
to do
about
is
it.
beyond parody. I mean, it's crazy. But they said, yeah, there's a script. This came out at San Diego Comic-Con. They said there is a script for a second movie. Goldstein isn't sure whether he'll get a chance to help bring it to life due to financial reasons. You mean the first one was a fucking bomb, and they don't want to burn more money? Oh my God!
He's the one that made the comment.
Yeah. He acknowledged they're expensive movies to make, but it'd be great fun to do it. He loved working with the cast on Honor Among Thieves, and the script he co-wrote is something he believes fans would like. He said,
Are you emasculating men again?
I know, right? Like, this one's great. His dick literally falls off, and then a dragon eats it. And then he starts carrying around a purse and wearing pumps. And then we got this whole tie-in merch thing, and then you can go play the shitty D&D mobile app for more immersion into this world. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Hasbro loved it. We actually wrote a sequel to Dungeons and Dragons. We were hired to write it. I don't know that we'll see the light of day for a number of financial reasons.
And moronic choices.
They're expensive movies to make, but it'd be great fun to do it. We'd love that cast. We think we wrote something that fans would like. Probably. Again, your movie, if you're listening, and I doubt you're listening, Goldstein, but if you are listening, your movie was good. It was your mouth that helped tank the movie.
Yeah, it was your comments that ruined the movie.
Yeah, and the media, they're not your friends.
No,
they're not your
they're
friends.
Going to run with that because anything that's going to stick it to the chuds, they think they don't care. They don't care if they tank these movies. They are actively, I think, the number one cause these movies get destroyed. Yes. They keep trying to blame like the YouTubers and the vocal minority, but the reality is these media idiots are the ones destroying all your stuff. And then you're just like, go, let me give you more access.
Well, that's okay. So just real quick before we wrap this one up, going back to the Odyssey again, I think Elliot Page and Lupita Nyong'o were in the movie, a combined total of under 10 minutes in a 3-hour Nolan movie. the media ran with that, latched on to, oh, look, the Chuds are going to be so mad. There's the black woman in the movie. If this were like the 80s or 90s where we just dropped a movie and people went to go see it based on the trailer alone, they'd be like, oh, that was kind of weird, but whatever. You know, oh, like, yeah, oh yeah, she was in that movie, but whatever.
They made a big deal about it, and then it wasn't just the media though. The people behind the film did too, because they brought them to the red carpet and acted like they were big parts of the movie. Like they were parading them around like they were huge deals in the movie, even though they weren't.
You heard more about Elliot Page than you heard about Anne Hathaway in this movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what's so wild about it. But that, again, the damage.
That's not a fair comparison. It should be Matt Damon, because Elliot's now a dude.
Matt Damon. Yeah. So it's crazy. The whole thing is just, they really need to stop. I think social media, I mean, yeah, it's brought out the worst in fandom for all to see, I think, in some levels, but also these movie studios don't know how to, the people behind the camera don't know how to conduct themselves, because I don't think they're used to being put in the spotlight. It was the most you would get is like an occasional interview in like a Starlog or something with George Lucas, but he wasn't out there tweeting every damn day. Mm-hmm. Right? So you don't know what these guys were thinking 9 times out of 10. You just went to go see the movie and you judge the movie based on the movie itself. And now we're judging it based on the behavior of the people around it. And
well, they're
the
ones making the movie, so why would you question it? If they're out there saying, hey, we get off emasculating men, why would you question? And this is the people that are writing and directing the film. The audience isn't going to question it and think it was taken out of context like you might with a media article. They are directly saying this and laughing about it. Of course they're going to listen to you. You're telling them what you think of them. Why the fuck do you think they'll give you the money? They'll give you their money. You can't, you know what I'm saying? I need coffee. Anyway.
We're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Now funding on Kickstarter, a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja.